am. We're at up at our block that we call Ironbark Ridge. I just thought I would give you a tour of the property. It's me and Rodney the Postie. So we'll just take a lap around the internal roads that we've got. Don't have a complete circle of the property, but we'll go as far as I can and just look around and give you a look at the place and point out any points of places of interest that we like or have named or whatever, and why we've named it that and so forth. So yeah, so brief description of the property. It's very diverse. We're on the borderline between east and west sort of thing. East of the divide and west of the divide. A lot of ironbark country, of course, plus we have SEVT, which is semi-evergreen vine thicket, which is like a dry rainforest type country. And also over on the western boundary that you'll see is Angofra, very different country to here. It's a lot more sandstone country, a lot more sparse. Yeah, so anyway, we'll take you around and hopefully it'll be of some interest. So here's our gate, just inside our gate, which is the southeast corner of the property. Alright, let's go Rodney. As you can see, the bush is looking pretty good. We've had a lot of rain in the last month or so, and everything's looking real good. Real good. So this is the start of our driveway. Basically from here to the house is 1.5 kilometres. Up we go, up the rock. Rodney, up we go. It's all packed in quite well after all the rain. It's good. When it gets real dry, the rock down, especially down the first part there, can get very loose. Here, pull up. Nice little drop off down there. We had a bit of a split here in 2011. Luckily it didn't take the road. Further down we had a big slip from the bank that actually blocked the road that we had to get repaired. But yeah, all down that gully, that's all part of our place. Down here, this is what we call Magic Gully. So you can see this is bordering on like a wet rainforest type area. Some friends went for a walk down there yesterday. I haven't been down there yet myself in the 30 years that we've had the place, but yeah, I'll get down there pretty soon. Apparently it's just gets pretty spectacular with things like staghorns and so forth, and big sandstone rock faces. So we'll get down there pretty soon. through here, we call this Fig Lane. You can see all the fig trees on the rocks. We had a branch come down on this one in that big wind on Saturday. So I don't know if it's great. Oh, yeah, it's just split, but it could keep growing, so I'll leave that. That way there's down, it goes to the house. We'll go through the internal road here. Come on, Rosie. An example here where we've killed a lot of the pear and the lantana up in this area here, and you see all these native grasses that have come back. It's quite a success story, that one. So this hill here we call Little Mountain, because we sort of have two big hills on our property. You can see it's pretty well devoid of pear up there. There was quite a bit up there, but I've been through and killed all that, and it's all fallen down. Lots of weight of nothing. Coming up to another section that we call the saddle. So we'll go up here into the saddle. Okay, so this is what we call the saddle. As you can see, we've got a big hill there that's known as Mount Kidd, and then what we call Little Mountain, which is there. So between the two we have our saddle. Okay, so in this spot I've been doing a bit of weed work. So down the hill here into the gully, that was all pretty heavily infested lantana. There is some regrowth after the rain, you'll always get that, but I've been through just a few days ago and spot sprayed all this little regrowth, as you can see here. See, like that one there. There. Over here a bit more. There, so that'll all start yellowing off. You can see the tips there are starting to yellow off. Yeah, so that poison's starting to take effect, so I've spot sprayed that right down through that gully. And that big tall tree we've got there, that's called a Brachychiton turgidillus, which is a cross between your bottle tree and your common currajong. Just a natural hybrid. And just yesterday Penny and I went up and did a lot of work up that hill, up through there, all up through there, getting those pears. They'll take a while to die off. Right, so that's the saddle. A lot of lamandra here. That's this stuff. That's all lamandra. And this stuff here, that there, is a native mint, like a peppermint, but we don't have smell-o-vision. So just continuing on past the saddle. This is a spot in here we call the studio site. Needs a bit of mow, but yeah, this was a spot that we had considered as a house site at one stage. We still reckon it'd be a good spot to build something like a recording studio, or yeah. So I'd keep it sort of mowed. I'll come and probably hit the tractor over here tomorrow maybe or something and take it down again. But yeah, so it's the studio site. If we don't do it, one of the boys might. As we come up to here, it gets very rocky. We've got our rock scree up the side of our mountain there. And this is the spot where we got the rock for our road. It was all in there, all through here. But it's all since come back. Our neighbour did all that work for us with his dozer and his scraper. I'll give you a brief look in here, our rock screw area. Blowing over the wind. You see in here some very cool different plants in here. This is all basalt rock, very heavy rock. And in there you can see all the vine scrub, which is your SEVT, semi-evergreen vine thicket, on basalt rock, of course. Just got to watch walking around here. You can do an ankle easily enough. This is the other postie. This is the stock standard one. It'll, if I ever want to register one, this will be it. All the indicators, the lights, everything worked well on this one. Whereas Rodney, he's a bit more of a hot rod, hence the name. There. There. They both run like clockwork, as posties do. See? That gives you a good idea of what that vine scrub can be like. Back up in there. Sort of opens up into this. A big flat sort of plateau through here. Coming down to a spot here that we call Neds Gully. Ned was a dog that we had once, and this was the spot where we buried him, so we call it Neds Gully. You can see this little bit of a dammy thing here. It's not designed as a dam, it's just where our neighbour Tom made the road through. It takes a lot of water, it'll hold the water for about a week, a little bit of water, and yeah. Then with that black soil it just soaks through and disappears. It's not relied upon as a dam as such. Now this intersection here is our western boundary. So back up that way, not far, it comes up to our, which would be our southwest corner. So we'll head to the right here and go down and eventually end up on our northwest corner. Hey, up. Right, now, a little spot here. Where do we get in? Where we go up there? Let's see. Come on, Charlie. Now I need to chop this down too. Keep this open. This is our fence line. Like I say, this is our western boundary, but we border onto a conservation park. See, conservation park boundary. Hit a bit of compression there. Ooh, she's a beast. Yeah. Country's different on the western side here. A lot more sandstony. Look down the hill. So all this burnt back in 2004. It was a hot fire from a bloke down the front apparently. Fire got away from him. Yeah. But, yeah, as you can see, it's all sandstone country. A lot of these type of trees here, which are an Angophora, also called the common name of rusty gum. As you can see the rusty looking sap that comes out of them. I can zoom in. See that? There. Yeah, there's a good example of it. See how the Postie goes up the hill climb. Woo! This is a spot that we tidied up. It was all lantana and dead wattle, so we just cleaned her up a bit by hand, and just because. because of that. And then this here continues down with the rock scree down the side of the hill here. Still need to get down there. There's a giant fig and stuff down there. I've been a bit of the way, but any of these joints, these places, you need to, you know, make it a mission and take a backpack with water and stuff, because going down's easy. Right, so this is what we call the East Plateau track. I won't go all the way down, she's a bit tough. Could make it actually its own little video. It's such a, you know, fair way and stuff down to what we call the East Plateau. This is the East Plateau track to it. All this here is very high green panic. I brush cut it all down just around this area. See the car tracks we've been driving through. We've been doing a bit of work down at that East Plateau. But yeah, see the native grasses coming back. Stop where I'm going. You can see the size of the pear that we've killed. The size of that mother. That's the prickly pear. There. The country definitely improves when you kill off all that rubbish, damn stuff. One of many weeds that are introduced into our wonderful country. I think a big reason they introduced the pear was for the cochineal beetle, which feeds on the pear, especially the common pear, not so much this big tree pear that we've got. And they used it to dye the uniforms of the early soldiers, which was red. So when you squash the little beetles, they look white on the pear, but when you squash them, they're red and they'll die. Of course they die when you squash them, but yeah, it can be used as a colour dye for the red uniforms of the early, which were then British soldiers and police, I suppose, but yeah. So we're back at the intersection here. So that goes down to the gate, and this goes to the house, as you will see. Woohoo! Top gear! Doesn't that much around here. There we are, home sweet home. That's the view from our place. Alright, so that's basically our front yard. And such. So, there you go. That's the tour of Ironbark Ridge. Alright, as always, remember guys, have fun.